So my new plan for the show going forward is we're going to go make a deal with a bunch of dictators. We're going to perform a show in that country, and then I'm going to get into a dispute with the country's leader, and then I'm going to fucking leave you all there.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna make friends with the leader of Burma. And
I was gonna say, like, it took like 4 descriptors to be like, is he talking about China or somewhere else? Or Saudi Arabia?
And then I'm going to spin it as a mechanical failure that was 24 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
You probably deserve it.
The wrestlers? No.
No, we do. I'm saying we do.
Oh.
Yeah, as a society, we do. Yeah.
We do as a society.
No, I meant us, the 4 of us individually.
Four of us.
Right. Well, yeah, we do. We deserve to be in Burma, and then Rambo shows up because that movie was predicting the future, and Rambo's a real person, and then he kills us all with machine guns. That's what we deserve.
I don't know about you 3, but I'm not going to Burma.
Well, you already said that you're leaving us behind, so yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm the Vince McMahon in this situation, and you're all my bargaining chips. Exactly. Not even bargaining. He didn't even make a bargaining. He was like, "Fuck you guys. I'm going home on my big private jet. Come on, Brock, Rick, and Hulk."
He literally took his ball and went home because he pulled the plug on the live feed.
Yeah. Anyway, this is going to be kind of a news-focused episode of After Arc Phantom Zone. Who the fuck the show is now? I'm Connor McGraw. Hunter Davenport's internet is broken, or he's asleep. They could be the same thing, honestly. Yeah. So who else is here?
Arlen Hara.
I'm Erik Fedorchik. Sorry, I was taken aback because I forgot I'm in the 3rd chair today. And my money-making ploy for the Phantom Zone is I'm going to start selling my bathwater.
Thoughts? Yeah. Oh my god, it came up.
Yeah, it did. Damn, that was seamless. I mean, since I just said my name, my scheme is that we're all gonna sell lemonade together.
Lemonade.
Well,
but it will actually be mostly vodka.
That might be a problem based on videos I've seen of people who aren't white trying to do just normal things because we have Lou with us and the cops are gonna get called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you haven't let me introduce myself yet.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to keep the bit going.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
So what's your money making scheme, Lou?
I'm just gonna get all you guys canceled and then take over all the ad revenue.
It's probably the more obtainable goal.
Yeah.
Honestly, you 100% could pretty easily.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what I was referencing, opening bit, WWE held their fucking Saudi show, and it's like some fucking mischievous entity has put a hex on shows because every single one of them something happens. The last one almost died, and then Undertaker almost died, and then Goldberg and Undertaker both almost died. And they had a disastrous match, and there was travel issues again. And at this one, there was apparently some kind of fucking dispute over payment, and that Vince was owed $300 million by the Saudi government for putting on these shows that they just decided they weren't going to pay.
Shocking.
I was kind of expecting just by year 5, this is going on, and Vince is like, so am I going to get my fucking $700 million you owe us? And they're like, next year.
Yeah, he's
going on for 10 years until the dollar amount for that contract still hasn't been fulfilled.
He's totally surprised that a government who ordered an assassination of a reporter stiffed him on a bill.
Yeah,
would be somehow dishonest.
Yes.
Yeah, we totally did not do that and then have the guy chopped up and then dress the guy up like him to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We totally did. But he got into a dispute with a prince. He allegedly pulled the live feed and the show ran on a 40-minute delay. And then after it was all said and done, Vince got on his plane, left. Ric Flair got on his plane, left. Brock Lesnar got on his plane,
Okay,
left.
Can I stop you? There's no way Ric Flair still owns a plane.
Oh, he does.
I don't believe that.
Insane.
He does. It's his plane. Hulk Hogan got in his plane and left, and all the wrestlers who couldn't afford their own private jets were stranded in this country as they were told to get off their plane, citing mechanical failures, and were held over for I think over 20 hours, which
See,
I'm sorry.
why didn't the three wrestlers scoop people up? Like Hogan's got all that Gawker money. So like
exactly, yeah. You'd think that like I know private jets like have more than one seat.
They could probably get like 10 wrestlers on each one.
Yeah, on 3 private jets, you couldn't grab a couple people.
Like the Brock doesn't surprise me, but the other 2 guys surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, and Brock Lesnar's private plane only does have 1 seat because it's made out of tree bark and cow bones.
Well, the rest of the plane is filled up with deer.
He doesn't have a private jet. He just gets a running start and jumps across the ocean.
Oh man!
Paul Heyman just jumps on his back.
Master blasters.
How have they not done that like as a bit in WWE, just like as a Halloween thing, just dress them
because
up?
I don't think Brock Lesnar has ever seen a movie. Ever.
Well, he's like Werner Herzog.
I think Paul Heyman's probably seen all of them and probably could talk to you about Mad Max all day, but I'm pretty sure if you gave Brock Lesnar like a VHS, he would sniff it and then break it in half and try to suck out what's inside of it.
Either that or he'd start screaming about wizards.
The only thing that always like bothered me, I think, was like he's married to Sable, who was like who's like, I'm like, when I was a kid, she was on her like 3rd guy in WWE that she was with and married and dumped.
The weird thing is she filed like 2 sexual harassment lawsuits against that company. And normally WWE has contentious relationships with people if you're married to someone they've been in a legal tussle with, they're usually kind of weird about you, but for some reason they're just like, you do what you want, Brock, it's fine.
Because he's the big number 1 guy. You know, he does it with the 2 companies that he's worked with because neither of them can live without him right now.
Yeah. But I think WWE can. They just choose not to because they don't want to build any stars now that John Cena left.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't leave, but John Cena's like, hey, I've been doing this for 15 straight fucking years and took no time off, so I'm just going to quietly go away. And
he's in this spot where it's like, I can do what Hulk Hogan never could because I can speak. And so I can be in a bunch of rom-coms and like little kid movies. Like, didn't he just have like a firefighter kid movie come out?
Yes, I love how him and The Rock's feud was based on like, you left where you came from and went and did a bunch of stupid kids movies, and now John Cena is at the point in his career where he's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, like what was the really bad Rock one with the kid? Was it like Tooth Fairy?
Yeah, that might be it.
There's that. There's Game Plan. There's Escape to Witch Mountain. Remember Escape to Witch Mountain?
Oh,
there was an Escape to Witch Mountain remake.
There was that meme that went around for the longest time with The Rock and those 2 kids, but I never saw the movie. It's also, I think John Cena's doing this because he's like, wait, I can actually make all this money I should have been making with WWE by doing these shitty movies. All right, I'm in.
Cool. He also gets like insurance from like the Screen Actors Guild.
Exactly. Yeah, that, and he tripped over his dick into actually being a decent actor. So there you go.
Yeah, he has a personality.
Because he has natural likability, and since he's like just as hard of a worker as The Rock is, I'm sure within 5 years he'll be just as much of a fucking Hollywood franchise player that The Rock is. And will somehow muscle his way into the 10th Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, I was gonna say like he got onto, which kind of will transition to another topic, but like he tried to do it with Bumblebee, and like that was the death knell of that like franchise.
Oh boy, that is a good way to pivot into a subject we need to talk about, and that is two films with one being an established franchise, and the other one kind of coming from an established creator, and being a sequel to one of the fucking biggest horror of all time. Is not doing well, and Terminator Dark Fate ate shit at the box office.
One of those I'm not surprised by.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it? I mean, is it? It's Terminator, right? Or is it?
Yeah, obviously.
I think that Doctor Sleep.
I
Why don't you go first?
I was to say, I think Doctor Sleep is a combination of why did it come out in November? And
it's like a month late.
Yeah,
it at the least.
And I think it's like. Definitely. I don't like. Did it too not do well, or did it do well?
I don't think it did as well as the first one, though.
Yeah, it did well.
Oh my god, I didn't even know how much it made, and now that I'm looking at the numbers, holy fuck!
Wait,
What, it
what's
too?
it two or
I see.
or-
Okay. Made it a $50 million budget. Dr. Sleep was tracking to earn a solid $25 to $30 million opening weekend. That ended up being way off the market. Only made $14 million on 3,805 screens.
Yeah. It's
Stanley
not...
Kubrick is a tornado in his grave right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think he would care about the money, but I think he would care about this landing.
Like the legacy?
Yes.
Wait. Like, it got beat out by Midway? Oh,
that's the weird thing to me. That's the thing that people are ignoring. A Roland Emmerich movie is getting like attention, and people are actually going to see it. Even though, am I wrong? Do we not all know that Roland Emmerich is bad sauce? Am I just like in a bubble?
I think I told you when I saw that. Like I messaged in the group. I was like, "Why is this movie here? This movie looks so bad."
I thought we were done with him after
Red Tails?
Yes, I said it looks like Red Tails with white people.
That's why it's making money. It's fucking white people. It's a bunch of fucking attractive white people.
And they're bombing Japanese people, and this is a Trump movie. This is
well, I didn't want to have to go down that path, but it is kind of a reflection of the dumbing down.
Yeah, well, it did come out on the correct time because when it came out on Veterans Day, so like it makes like that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how much it costs though, because it's in first place, but that may not mean anything.
It could be dismal week too. That's the other thing. I thought we were all done with Roland Emmerich once Storm came about.
It's $100 million budget, and it's made 21 million worldwide.
Okay, that makes me feel better. That makes me feel much better.
Eat shit, Emmerich.
Yeah.
Fucking deserve it.
To go back to saying that Stanley Kubrick is a tornado in his grave, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, because
he might actually sit up and laugh at everybody. He might be like, "You fucking deserved it."
He might be like, "What did you think was going to happen?"
Well, I also feel like he kind of distanced himself from The Shining after a while, just because of all the bad press that Stephen King was giving it, and I don't know.
Yeah, Stephen King was on like a different batch of coke at that time.
Exactly.
And he's in a different one now because he's standing up for Dr. Sleep.
Also, Kubrick's from a different generation where, you wanted your movie to do well, but you're okay with that movie doing well and just being like, "Fuck it, I'm not touching it. Don't fucking look at me if the sequel does bad." 2010, do what you want to do, but I don't care what you do with that movie or how it does. Just do your thing.
And while I haven't seen Dr. Sleep yet, I feel like it was already up against an insurmountable task of satisfying A, fans of the Stanley Kubrick film, and B, satisfying fans of the book. And everything I've heard, it actually manages that landing pretty well, but I think there was just too much expected out of it from a lot of people.
And the book only came out, like 5 or 6 years ago?
I think it was longer than that. But
and I actually heard it. I heard it put that
2013.
This is what, the second or third Stephen King movie to come out this year that's disappointing in some way.
Yeah, but it's all like perspective.
Well, I heard that Pet Sematary didn't do well at the box office.
Well.
And then
Pet Sematary didn't do well. Yeah, that's
and then
true.
It Chapter 2 was like critically it split people.
Yeah. Well, I'm on Box Office Mojo. It too did just under 500 million.
Right.
That's still really fucking good.
It did 460.
Here's the thing. With it, perspective, nobody has ever said that they love the adult part of that book or that story. Like, that's just a universally known thing. So the fact that it did that well is like, that's fine. If you like look at it percentage wise, based off of how many people say that they love the stuff with the kids versus how many people say they hate the stuff with the adults, like, it makes sense. That math it clicks for me. But I can see it, I guess, why people would think that would be disappointing.
I don't know. I also wonder how many people have actually read the book. Like it, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but you can't.
Well, I think you can say that just based off the miniseries as well. I think you can come to that.
Yeah. You can't have one without the other, and it's unfair to malign one while you're praising the other because they're needed, like, to tell the story.
It's the same fucking story. You can't really you can't
exactly
separate.
Like I would make the argument that if you're somebody who doesn't like Kill Bill Chapter 2, well, that's fine, but that's one movie that was released.
Well, it was one movie that he was forced to cut into two.
Yeah, it's one film. It's a complete thing, and when you watch it as one film, everything about it just
and the reason why I think people don't like Kill Bill Chapter 2 is because you are watching a 2.5-hour third act. So and it takes. I like Kill Bill Chapter 2, but it takes fucking forever.
It does take a long time. It's a long ride
to the meat.
And it's not as fun and exciting as the first part.
No.
Yeah.
And I think that was definitely my problem with Kill Bill Volume 2 was that, like, the first time I saw it, I was like, that was cool, but I didn't like it as much. And then subsequent viewings, I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. This is great. Well, this is perfect.
And when I watched it, I watched them like back to back with my grandmother in the room, which was
wow.
That was interesting.
Really?
My grandmother, she was Satan. She gave me the apple on many occasions.
Well, I can one up you on weirder things watching. Like, I watched one of the first episodes of Boardwalk Empire with my wife's grandmother. And when Michael Shannon is banging what's her name, I was like, oh my god! And we were just dating. I think we were like,
right. But Lou, again, I stress this. Were you 12?
No, I was like 20 something dating her granddaughter, and it was just the two.
I was like 12 or 11.
Yeah, and it was on it was on Christmas, and then her family walked in and was like, "What are you guys watching?" And I was like, "I don't know."
That is weird. Yeah. That is very weird. Michael Shannon stuff in that show is very weird. Okay, that's a different
if you
thing.
did want to,
but anyways, I think it's the same thing for Chapter 2.
Pet Sematary.
You kind of have to watch them as
Pet Sematary made $112 million and cost $50, I think.
That movie didn't do well because it wasn't very scary, and as I've realized upon rewatching, it's not that great.
It cost 21, so it made money. Like, it did well,
but it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary.
Well, I think that's because horror movies have changed so much.
But beyond that, like, I don't care how much the director, writers of the film liked Pet Sematary as a story. There are a million other Stephen King things they could have adapted, and they didn't need to readapt something that had already existed as a film. Like,
I agree.
That's like
you can argue. You can argue that, like, it didn't need to be made, but no, fuck you. The TV movie is not the same as what they did on screen. But Pet Sematary was not necessary, and I think the profits on that and the general response is definitely what it deserves.
Here's another part of it. Like, isn't what's the name of the show? The Hulu, or is it Hulu or Amazon?
Hulu, Castle Rock.
Isn't that doing like really well and getting like really great reviews?
Yeah, because it's not a direct adaptation of any Stephen King stories.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it
captures the tone extremely well.
So, like, if you watch that thing, you have it there. So, like, I think it goes to kind of the fatigue of King stuff.
But I don't know. I don't agree with that.
But it's like,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that it is a case of the good Stephen King adaptations are doing well-ish, and the ones that are sort of middle they're getting what a middle-ish movie would get, and the ones that are kind of bad or not that great, they're getting an equal result. Like, Dark Tower got what it deserved.
Yes.
It got one.
And Dark Tower was like 4 years ago now?
It's 2 years ago.
It feels like it was.
Wait, it was only 2 years ago? I feel like that movie was forever ago.
It's the same year as It. That's what made it astonishing.
Wait,
that it was
really?
The exact same year as It. Yes, it's the same year, and it was amazing to watch a movie that handled Dark Tower lore so poorly, and then very soon after watch a movie that is very tangentially connected to the Dark Tower, handle some Dark Tower lore extremely well, and
take risks and not really try to compromise on anything. And like in the first 90 seconds of that movie, or not 90 seconds, like first 5 minutes, a child has his fucking arm ripped off and then dragged down a sewer, while Dark Tower was a fucking sanitized PG-13.
What's the thing? Like, there have been so many rumors with all the Stephen King stuff with like Dark Tower. And I think there was like when they were talking about Dark Tower, they were also talking about The Stand, and they wanted to do. I can't remember who it was, but it was like a fairly big name at the time.
Ben Affleck was actually supposed to direct it at one point,
and they were going to do. I think it was The Stand, where they were going to do like a movie, a season of like a mini series on like HBO or something.
That was Dark Tower.
That was Dark Tower?
Yeah, that was Dark Tower.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't going to be HBO. I wanted it to be HBO. I know that. But it was going to be like NBC?
Yeah, something like
There's
that.
There's no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like...
No. It was going to be bad. I knew
and it
that.
was... Ron Howard was connected to Dark Tower.
Yes. Yes.
But I feel like The Stand would...
Javier Bardem.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
The Stand is still...
I think that would work so much better today than Dark Tower.
Wait, which one? Ron Howard?
No, The Stand as a film, like a film. I feel like
The Stand would work. Yeah, it would work. I mean, I would give The Stand the It treatment, but it's getting
it would need to be like 2 or 3 movies.
Yeah,
or a show. Like
it's getting and I think it's CBS Plus.
Oh, the All Access thing.
Yeah, All Access or whatever it's called. I think that's where it's going. I don't remember if Josh Boone is still attached.
Okay, I'm looking at the cast right now. It's
New Mutants
pretty interesting because it's James Marsden, Whoopi Goldberg, Amber Heard.
Yeah, all those make sense.
Yeah. Well, no, never mind. I won't go that far. I was gonna say, I feel kind of bad for Mike Flanagan. Like this,
I don't, because Netflix is gonna be there no matter what.
I don't know.
Like Netflix is like his parachute, and like they love him. They love him.
I get that, but it's still like I wanted him to knock this out of the park.
I agree.
And I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet. Maybe I'll see it and be
it could be one of those
Here's
things.
What I'll say. The marketing didn't help. The marketing has not helped at all.
I'm going to say this now. The first trailer I saw for Dr. Sleep, I was like, this looks like shit. I was not excited for it at all. It didn't resonate with me at all. And then after that, it was like, are you guys trying to sell a movie? Or are you guys trying to just fart one out?
Well, from what I know of the story, like some of these later trailers are very misleading too, because they're showing you a lot of the stuff that happens near the end of the movie.
They're showing you a lot of the third act of that movie.
It takes a while to get to the Overlook again, and it
does.
It's such a terrible bait and switch.
Nothing is as bad as the batch of quarantine teasers that was just the final shot of the film.
Well,
the most insulting thing I've ever seen.
It's pretty close though. Like, okay, to use Mike Flanagan as an example, it's like in Ouija, whatever that second one was called.
Origin of Evil.
If they just showed you them in the basement trying to fight off that.
Oh no!
Spoilers for Ouija.
That's like that is the last scene of the movie.
It's that Nazi doctor or whatever. If it's just scenes from that, of them finding a Nazi doctor's old lair, if it was just that if that's all they showed in the trailer and like a couple scattered scenes from the beginning of the movie, that's kind of what it's like. Or if they just showed you in Oculus, if they just showed you the ending of that movie, which that would be a bold thing to do because of how that movie closes.
I like a tepid description, like a mountain of salt just poured at you, like.
Yeah.
So speaking of other franchises that have a reputation from directors we like, Terminator: Dark Fate fucking fell on its face.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked.
I'm not shocked, but I'm a little like fucking. That's it. Nobody cares. It's dead.
Because it's.
I mean, I could have told you that a while ago.
Even from like every description and the look of it's like they're not doing anything new with it. It's the same.
And here's the thing.
That's half of my problem with it.
Part of my problem is what they do in the first 5 minutes of the fucking film. It's something I can't fucking stand, and I really hate that they did it. And I'm not sure if I should spoil it on here.
Okay. In the context of the movie, it actually works. That's sort of how I'll leave that. it works in the movie. But the problem is and we said this when we first saw the trailers, is, oh, these are some good ideas, and then I remembered, oh, we've seen every single new idea that they have in this movie in other movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only new idea that's in here is not even like that new of an idea of like, well, have somebody else be the savior, have somebody else be the Christ figure.
Because that's kind of how
the new thing.
Isn't that kind of how 3 starts? Because they're going after
3.
What's her name?
3 is they can't find John,
so they're going after Claire Danes.
Yes, they're going after everybody else around John in the hopes that collapses everything. That the columns around him that allow him to stop the robots, if you just take those out, maybe he won't be able
well,
to
the problem is it's
win.
since like it works with the first 2, and then after the first 2, except for Salvation, it's a robot comes from the future to kill people, and then there's humans and another robot to stop it.
And here's the funny thing is that Salvation actually does echo some beats from the other films, but rearranges stuff and puts a whole new setting, a whole new timestamp, and everything, so it doesn't feel like you're just fucking squeezing it through a copy machine.
Yes.
Like, because in Salvation, it is, we have to protect Kyle Reese, but it's not like a fucking robot was sent back in time to fucking
you're in the future.
Kill him again. And you're in the future. He's abducted, and John is like, even like he's literally the key to everything. If he dies in there, everything's fucked.
Well, because it's like it also kind of plays, although I wish it did more, with the fact that like, oh, I need to find the guy who's younger than me, but I know is my dad, to send him back in time so he can bang my mom. So I exist.
Right.
Also, it's way more, and having just come off the episode with Different Movie Dumpster, like that movie does some really cool shit. And especially when John sees Marcus as a Terminator, and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, and his whole perception of what he was supposed to do is completely undone because he's like, "I don't know what to do with this. I'm not prepared for this at all. No one is."
Yeah.
He had no idea Skynet would stoop to that level as to make a fucking human hybrid.
Well, it's like, but again, it's the only one of the sequels that does something different.
Yep. Yeah. And to that end, we're 6 movies in that we feels
which they do try to do other things, but then again, like we've talked about this, Genesis cannibalizes a lot of stuff from Salvation, and it just doesn't.
Well, the other thing is
Genesis.
They all try to,
and it just doesn't.
They all try to be like sci-fi action movies, and none of them have tried to go back to the original event. Like, why not go back to the horror element? Because
that's the thing, though. They do. But not in an interesting way. They have like Arnold like revisiting scenes from the first movie, and it's like.
But I don't mean I mean like as a theme. Like there's still like action movies.
I'm just saying like they try to revisit these things and try to sort of revisit the past and use that as like a sheen. Yeah. Like if you have a car that's chrome siding on it.
A couple of weeks ago when I like was bringing up in one of the chats like. The only other franchise that I feel like has had this similar issue is Aliens, like Alien and Aliens, and it was when you brought up that article about T2 ruining like the franchise because it like did something.
Somebody brought that.
Yeah. And I was just like, the Aliens kind of has the same issue. Like 3 is fine.
Aliens,
but like Alien and Aliens are good. 3 is fine, and then basically everything else is trash.
I still say Alien is a different situation, but
it's with Alien, Ridley Scott did what George Lucas did, where he kind of forgot why people liked the series in the first place, so he went and made Prometheus and Covenant. He tried something radical and weird that has a lot of stupid shit in it, and then followed it up with like a backhanded attempt to give you the xenomorph, and he just like it's just sticking a fucking finger up you the whole time, like here's your stupid fucking murder monster, you idiots.
Well, even in the case of that, what the thing that he saw that nobody else really did is that once you see the alien, once you know what it is, it's less scary. You can't do Aliens and then continue doing Alien movies because by the end of Aliens, you've seen like other angles of the alien, like you've seen what that looks like,
which is why I say
it's life cycle.
Getting back to being utterly terrified of it is hard to do,
which I think is why the third one is okay because the setting helps it a lot, and then it's why all the other ones they lean into until we get to the last one's like it's like all this action sci-fi stuff, and Terminator just never. They're all action sci-fi, and then we get like post-apocalyptic kind of thing in Salvation.
You want to know what I think? Also, what I think really hurts Terminator is that this is pretty much the third reboot in a row.
Well, they're all reboots.
Well, that's But the point I wanted to make was that I think both Alien as a franchise and Terminator as a franchise, if somebody within the studios would have had the foresight to see, all right, the second film has done gangbusters, we need to establish a series Bible. And these are what we're going to work with, and this is what we do going forward. And I understand companies didn't have the foresight. They're just like, put it the fuck out. I need to do some more cocaine.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up because Terminator has not been handled by the same group of people.
No,
since
that is the major difference.
Since 2,
Fox has been...
because like they just fucking sell the rights off to whoever wants to make a fucking Terminator movie.
Yeah.
Well, they also expire, so somebody else picks up the gauntlet, and they just run off in their own direction with it.
And the company who made Salvation, Halcyon, filed for bankruptcy the same year Salvation came out.
Jesus Christ! I don't understand why they wouldn't have that part and parcel with like the rights to it. Be like, hey, here's what's happening if you acquire the rights. This is the hard sign on this, and if you don't, then no, you can't continue the franchise. I mean, like you said, Halcyon, they went bankrupt, so whatever, it would just become whoever decides to buy it. But I don't understand why companies didn't have the foresight to do that, because we could be living in a golden age of these films instead of, let's see how bad this pile of shit is.
If you had a Bible and you had rules, and you'd be like, all right, so you can take either, you have main thing is time travel and robots from the future. What else can we do? It's like, well, they keep trying to kill this kid, and the humans try to send someone to block that thing. Why don't the humans try to be proactive and flip that on the movie,
and kill the kid,
or the humans are hunting like somebody that's going to help create Skynet.
What's funny is that Salvation has a thing that openly addresses how many times Skynet fucking failed, and Skynet basically says like, we made too many overly calculated decisions. And in this instance, because she's talking to Marcus, she's like, and you are the happiest accident we've ever created, because like you brought every piece we needed right here in front of us on a dinner plate. He's like, you did what we couldn't do. You killed John Connor. And I think they established in other films that like all the information for when and where these people existed was fucked up after the apocalypse, but but like again, Salvation proving that it was the only one who wanted to do anything fucking different was the one that pointed out like, hey, the plan we tried over and over again and it resulted in failure every single time. Yeah, it was stupid. This time it worked beautifully.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
And then 6 years later, Genesis cannibalizes all of that by Genesis is a person again, and they have an identity, and it's a child. Ooh, played by Matt Smith.
You can have like, with this time travel stuff, every time they go back, it changes time a little bit different. So like, but they never.
That's the thing nobody has actually played around with, except for Genesis, actually, which is every time you go back in time, you create a new timeline. So technically, we haven't seen the timeline from the very first Terminator.
Well,
since the first.
It depends on your time travel.
And Terminator 2 has a definitive ending in the extended cut. Like Judgment Day is avoided.
What's the thing?
It doesn't happen.
If it depends on which time travel you're following, because if you look at the first two movies alone, time is a closed circle. If you include Salvation in that, it's still a closed circle. It just has a different ending. It's the other films that are completely changed the time travel laws. Because like no matter what, like John Connor doesn't exist if Judgment Day doesn't happen. Like he can't actually exist in the timeline.
Sure.
Yeah. Because Kyle can never be sent back in time to be his father.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So
Kyle is a constant.
Yes, and he's only
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, and he can only go there if he's like it's self-fulfilling prophecy. So,
but like Dark Fate also says like, well, another company made
that's
skeletal endoskeleton robots that are called the same thing, and also have the same plan.
That's also kind of falling into one of the theories of time travel. Like there's 3 different variations, but one of the ideas is that nature / history abhors a vacuum, so there will be something that will take its place.
Bioshock Infinite plays with it too, because when Elizabeth takes you to the lighthouse, and she says, "There's always a man, there's always a city."
Right.
So
well, and it's the response I give to people who are like, well, why didn't we just, if we had time travel, why wouldn't we just go back and kill baby Hitler? Well, how do you know that doesn't create a mega Hitler? How do you know
as bad as it is?
How do you know that doesn't just that doesn't create a vacuum and cause just something far worse?
And as like kind of a historian, it's like you also lose all of the innovations that came out of World War II.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, even then, like that's another.
I'm trying to remember what I was watching, and like
she's super Hitler. She's Hitler who flies.
Well, like if you think about it, like for all we know, the person who takes over the Nazi party doesn't have syphilis. That person
isn't addicted to methamphetamine.
Doesn't try to invade Russia in winter.
Well, they invaded in April, but still,
it's always winter there, except for like 2 months.
Yeah, they did not plan as well as they did, and they were winning for a long time. Anyways, like just a lot of stuff that like Hitler had his flaws and his little inconsistencies that kind of allowed him to lose that. If you have somebody come in and lead that country who does not have those flaws, things could have gone much, much worse. And that war could have gone on for much longer. If Himmler even is in charge, it's a different thing altogether. So this is a nice little tangent about World War II. I
was trying to remember. I can't.
Well, speaking of World War II, we could move on to our favorite survivors of World War II, who is now going to have his own TV show on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. Who are you talking about? I have no idea.
Winter Soldier. Captain America.
Winter Soldier.
We're talking about Buck.
Oh,
we're talking about Bucky. Yeah.
Okay, I do want to address Dark Fate just a little bit more, but then
okay.
I just wanted to say, Dark Fate is fine. I think that's like the tragic part of this is like Dark Fate's actually pretty good for what it is. Even though it does feel like I've been here before, like it's just like I don't care though. Like
it's like I said on Facebook, and in the comment you had was perfect. It's you tired people out. Nobody cares. And you brought up Bumblebee, and it doesn't matter how good Bumblebee is. Transformers earned its place in the garbage heap. Like
it earned that spot on the ashes of just like you fucked up for too long. You don't get to come along and make a good movie and then call it good. That's
Bumblebee wasn't that great anyways.
And that's what's different. Like
no, but Bumblebee.
We're not going down
Bumblebee
this path.
is sad. No, it is sad though when you consider like it's better than the other.
I think it was
when you compare it to it's a movie that clearly had some spirit and some heart to it, and then you stack it next to those fucking soulless, abominable blockbuster fucking shit cans that Michael Bay put out for fucking a decade and a half, or a decade. And it's upsetting.
Yeah, well, I think it's
like you knew you could do this the whole time, and you chose to let those fucking 5 movies ride it out.
Yeah, well, I think you can.
I
was gonna say if you look at other franchises, like I was gonna say the DC stuff, like the DC stuff was like one movie away from just being done forever. Like and I think if Wonder Woman wasn't what it was, there wouldn't have even been a chance for Justice League.
And there's some news already about Wonder Woman, and the test screenings were not good.
Oh, the new one, but I mean, like, and like the same. Like, I feel like if Aquaman or Shazam, like, there's a little bit of life back in it because of Aquaman and Shazam, but I feel like it's another 2 bad movies away, like in a row, from killing it again.
I mean, I think that's any series. You can kill it with one movie very easily. Okay, now let's get into the Marvel stuff, I guess, because we are going much longer in news than I thought we would. So there's a lot of stuff, lots of images, and the What If show and all that.
Did you watch the little GIFs that they added for the What Ifs that I put in here?
No.
I did. I saw the images. I didn't actually look at it.
So the GIFs. One is it's like a clip from they're all the what ifs, and it's Peggy with the shield jumping down and beating the shit out of stuff.
Yes.
T'Challa as Star-Lord.
What?
So he like it's the Star-Lord helmet, and then it hits it, and it's T'Challa. And then the other one is
that's pretty good.
The Peggy Carter, but then like the Iron Man Mark 1 comes up, and it's Steve Rogers that comes out of it in World War II.
Oh my god!
Like tiny Steve.
Oh my god! This is worth every penny.
And then the last one is Bucky, like Winter Soldier with the long hair, and Zombie Cap throwing the shield at him covered in blood.
Awesome.
And him catching it and whipping it back at him.
But
like each of them have
the animation
different art style, which I like, because of the art styles, the Peggy one looks like Rocketeer, and that's a massive compliment I'm giving it.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a Fleischer cartoon from what I remember. I saw of it. Yeah. That makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta say, like,
I just found them in the chat.
Like
the fact that they're spending the money on good animation is
and these are like
take
and they're
notes,
shorts. They're like I think they're like half-hour shorts.
Yeah, I think that's
perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It just I'm kind of the most excited about What If. Like, don't get me wrong, I will watch every second of all the other live action stuff, but What If has always been some of my favorite shit from Marvel. Like, and the fact that it sounds like they're actually doing some different ideas than what I've read in What If comics. I'm so excited. This sounds so great.
Holy shit, the fucking the Bucky stuff looks like cell shaded 3D animation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they each have like a different style. Yeah. The zombie one has like a more cell shaded look. And then the Black Panther one looks like
looks kind of Spider-Verse.
I was gonna say it looks like Telltale.
Well, I would say it looks like fucking Ralph Bakshi shit. That's what it looks like to me. It has
I got serious Iron Giant vibes from
the Mark 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Mark 1 kind of looks like.
It's powered by the stone, right? That's what it's powered by. It's Tony, or not Tony. Fucking.
I think it's powered by the Tesseract.
Oh.
Steve.
Yeah, it's some version. Well, I don't think Steve designed that.
No. It's probably Howard.
No,
but I think it's powered by the Tesseract.
Yeah, Howard created the Tesseract or something.
I want to know when the timeline the Cap and Bucky stuff takes place, because like that looks like Bucky from Wakanda.
Now,
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, it could be something that like
they're saying it's
what happened.
I was gonna say like I do know that they said it like the scene takes place on a train, but like things are definitely different.
See, when someone said takes place in a train, I imagined the train from
but this
First
is a
Avengers
subway
that Bucky fell off of.
But if you look at it, it has the
this
handlebars for the subway for a subway train.
Yeah.
I think what it's going to be is that Bucky did go through the whole Winter Soldier program, or he got pulled out of it by someone.
Oh, he has the arm.
Cap. Yeah. So it's going to be like present day, but he's current Bucky as opposed to some variation that's still brainwashed.
Yeah. Also, somehow in this like kind of minimalist detail style, they got Sebastian Stan's mug like just right.
Yes. Which is funny because when we look at the concept art for the live action TV show, he has the short hair and has like a stylized.
So
I know.
Let me tell you how upset I am by him cutting all of his hair off.
But he looked like it's his cap, except for the cowl. It's basically the design for his cap. Like he has the star on the arm, the arm,
kind of
black and blue. Like it has the black on the sides and the arms. Like
Sharon Carter looks like she's cosplaying as Cassie Cage from Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, that's mean.
Well, she also looks like she looks like something that God, what the I'm bad with names today. Oh God, the guy who did the X-Men movies. Fucking why am I blanking on this name?
The bad one?
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer?
Yeah, it looks like the X-Men Apocalypse suit designs.
It's just like a really simplistic military suit. There was one more animation, and it's like the Watcher that they did for the What If, I guess the opening they showed. I just dropped that in here now. Yes. And there's like there's another picture of like the difference between the Peggies. Which her costume is fucking baller. It looks like Captain Britain, which is what she is, but like it looks like comic book Captain Britain, which makes me feel like we're gonna get Captain Britain sometime soon. Which makes it
also that is
so happy.
Yeah,
that is a great drawing of Haley Atwell too.
Yes,
it is. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh wow, Uatu looks great.
Yeah, and so the other concept art, like I don't know how of all the like. I don't really care about Sharon Carter. I'm kind of disappointed in the lack of blue in Falcon's costume.
Yeah.
I was hoping for him to get the star on the chest. I'm wondering if this is like...
no, that's... Here's the thing. I think I know what's going to happen with that. He's going to get a traditional comic-looking Falcon suit so that he's not in something that looks just like a Captain America suit until the end of the show when he gets a brand new outfit. He said he's been fitted for it, so it's happening.
Yeah, he said that he's getting a Cap outfit, but I think this is... I mean, I would love it if they really just went forward and did like doesn't he have like an older green design? That would be
mostly he's in red. Like red is his color, red and white, But like the US agent, I love how it looks. I love like that it's just not Cap. Like it's a darker blue.
Yeah, it looks like bargain bin Captain America.
Which is exactly what he should do.
Brands. Yeah. Arlen, I don't think they would ever do the green Falcon outfit because it's very much looks like a costume that reflects the times.
Is it like
it does? It does.
It would also make him look too Vulture. I think.
No, here I'm going to send the photo into the chat,
and then like
it's
So then we also got like the Zemo, which was leaked, but like we got a really high res photo and. I love the way the Zemo mask looks.
Oh, God.
It looks so good.
God damn it. I just saw it.
Oh, it hasn't popped. Wait, did you put it in the Facebook chat or in this?
I Googled it, and holy shit.
I just
sweet chat. Christ.
Yeah, that's some Luke.
Yeah, that's the design I was talking about.
That's like disco time. That's like disco Nightwing era.
It's equivalent of Disco Nightwing, but I love it.
It's very reminiscent of like Disco Nightwing or Disco Black Lightning.
Yeah. Or
but the fact that they're going all in on the
original
red
costume.
Yeah, just like this bright red Falcon costume. Like, yes, do it. I'm into it.
I'm not a huge fan of this rendering of Anthony Mackie's head. Like, I don't like it one bit. Like everything else,
like his head.
Everything else about
it's at a weird. It's like a bad Photoshop of his like jaw in there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's because I'm sure the art comes first and the head comes last because like it's you just have to kind of like this is what the outfit looks like and now here's the dude's face. Like
I like the cowl aspect of it though. Like I like how it's like it comes up and like the eyepiece. Because like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is like some design stuff that they could hang around for if they want to make a Cyclops costume in different colors. Like it could not look dumb.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And that Hawkeye photo.
There's a bunch more. I only put the one in. There's like a bunch of Kate Bishop.
What is going on with fucking Jeremy Renner's body there? It looks like it's a block body and someone like attached his head to it.
Somebody photoshopped his real face onto that.
Yeah, that's like the bad one. We try to get the
real bad
other one they have.
Man, you know what's funny is that Corridor Crew has been like a fucking like a phenomenal experience to discover them. They have ruined me as far as like noticing fine details on shit like this.
But this isn't even fine details. This is just Kate Bishop looks great. Jeremy Renner looks like my special cousin Jeremy Renner in this photo.
Yeah, right. We should me and Arlen have seen it, but we should probably take a minute to talk about the fucking. So they analyzed a scene from Supergirl on their VFX artists react to good and bad CGI. If we ever thought that CW CGI looked bad in motion, wait until someone slows it down.
Oh, you have to send me this video.
Yeah. When they slow it down and then they point out like, oh wow, they didn't even. They're like, yeah, this was clearly like done in a day. They're amazed at it, but they're also a little bit disgusted, which is
they're like it's TV budget. This was probably done like 2 days before the episode came out, but like there's a shot in that where like Kara flies horizontally in front of someone to deflect something, but like when they slow it down, it's like it looks like someone clicked and dragged a still image of the Melissa Benoist across the screen, and they said her hair is moving the wrong direction, her cape is moving the wrong direction, and her movement is completely unnatural.
So your comment saying they're disgusted and amazed, it's kind of the way we felt about the last season of most of the CW stuff.
Yeah. That's yeah. I would say that's accurate.
What other Marvel stuff was there to cover?
Announcement of Ant-Man 3.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, good. Maybe the whole internet can stop using Ant-Man the Wasp as their fucking dunking target for the last 6 fucking weeks.
Yeah, they
Good Lord.
They officially announced that that's happening.
Okay,
directors writers for She-Hulk and Moon Knight.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah. So
any idea who?
It's the what is her name? She wrote for Rick and Morty. She is writing She-Hulk.
Okay.
Chairman. I'm looking at Twitter, so it's like Jessica Gao, and then Moon Knight is Jeremy Slater, who is one of the writers on Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
Jeremy,
okay.
I know that name from somewhere.
He also, I believe, was a writer for Fantastic Four.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that. Yeah. But that's not reflective.
I can't remember.
This guy wrote The Exorcist show. He's one of the writers for that.
Okay, cool. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah. Him, Moon Knight, yes. That okay. Connor, he wrote Death Note. No, but he wrote Lazarus Effect. He did write a screenplay. He wrote a pass for Fantastic Four, Death Note, a lot of episodes of The Exorcist. He's one of the creators of The Exorcist.
Awesome.
And then he's one of the creators of Umbrella Academy. That's enough for me to be like, okay, I get it. And also Fantastic Four, you can't...
Yeah, you can't judge the final
anybody.
Product. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't base... Yeah. No, his good outweighs the bad.
And I've heard Lazarus Effect isn't actually that bad, despite the fact that it looked really bad.
Oh, wait, Lazarus Effect, is that the one that's got that really bad what's his name? Stand-in for goddammit, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Shit.
Oh, I don't know.
The one. It's the one that had like the partially skinned person as the Netflix like picture.
Oh, I think that's a different movie. Well, this is a movie with an insane cast. It's Mark Duplass, Olivia Wilde, Evan Peters, Donald.
Oh, this is the one that's like.
I'm thinking of something.
Isn't this the one that's like
Ray Wise?
What is the old movie with Kiefer Sutherland in them?
It's called the fucking Lazarus Effect. It's a fucking sequel.
Oh, it is.
Oh, Flatliners.
Flatliners, yes.
Flatliners, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's what it is. It's that Flatliners. There was a remake of Flatliners that people thought was a remake, but it's actually a sequel.
Yes, but this movie is also basically Flatliners.
Yes,
the movie I was thinking of was called Banshee Chapter. Never mind.
Okay.
I've seen. I think I've seen Banshee Chapter. I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about it.
It's not bad actually, from what I remember. But anyways, that's not what we're here talking
about.
And
I think the last thing was like the Loki stuff, which Loki is also going to be tied to Doctor Strange's movie. And they basically said, if you don't watch the live action shows, you're missing out on chunks of the MCU. Mm-hmm. Like they are in the MCU.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. And if anybody has a problem, if anyone has a problem with that, you're compounding the issue that everyone had with the Netflix shows, in that they started out saying, oh, these are connected. Oh, they're totally in the same universe. And then within a season and a half of each of those fucking shows, they basically had to be like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, of course, the same universe, but like, we're never going to see them interact or anything. Bye.
But that's a little bit different because Disney wasn't directly in charge of all of those. That was Disney, like, yeah, here you go. Here's these properties. If you could connect them, that would be awesome.
The other problem is that like you had competing corporate entities inside of like Disney. So, Kevin Feige and fucking Ike were not going to get along.
And that's all done now.
And
they were
Ike took his fucking toys,
dick measuring.
These are my toys, and you can't play with them.
And now Kevin's been given a new chair where he can say whatever he says is he's Odin now.
Yeah. He's been given the throne. And now he's the Warden of the North in Game of Thrones.
Looking through this one Twitter, apparently there was heavy rumors at whatever thing they did all this announcing that they're working on a Thunderbolts movie.
Interesting.
Which has been talked about forever, and with Zemo being in the show, would make a lot of sense.
Well, it would also make a lot of sense since Sony and Marvel, to go back to older news, since Sony and Marvel both pulled their collective heads out of their asses, and Spider-Man is still on the table. That would also work really well for a certain weird-haired Green Goblin.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't even have to have him be the Goblin. That's the thing.
No. You just have him be Norman, and he's running Hammer. But it's the same thing. It's like the Spider-Man being back, it's like, oh, basically everything about the Hawkeye show is that he's training Kate to take his place, and Kate will become the new Hawkeye at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're doing a lot of that.
Yeah, it's training the Young Avengers, and basically, like with the Ant-Man and Wasp, the rumor is like, oh, who was way older when we saw her in Endgame?
Their stature.
Casey Lang.
Yeah. I mean, they are doing a lot of setup for the future. I mean, there's a reason why Florence Pugh is in that Black Widow movie. Is it a movie still? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
it's a movie.
But she's in it as a younger Black Widow who has not been turned to the good side or whatever yet. And she's clearly going to be taking over as the Black Widow.
I'm trying to remember the character's name. Is it Monica Rambeau? Is going to
the blonde?
No, the little black girl that's in Captain Marvel is going to be in one of these shows too.
Except
she's going to be like in her early 20s.
Yeah.
She'll probably be in Miss Marvel because they've announced that. So
she's like, I think they said like she's like an agent of whatever is now S.H.I.E.L.D. is.
Yeah, whatever the fuck's going on.
Yeah, so
well, they're just gonna
like S.H.I.E.L.D. exists, doesn't exist. Like,
it's something they have to clear up. Which if they're playing nice with Sony, you have Hammer come in, or
well, like we also got to find out if Sam Jackson's working on Sword up on that fucking space station.
Yeah. He might be.
I don't. That wasn't supposed to be Sword though. That was just a.
Well, he was working with
that was a scroll ship. That was just a scroll whatever. But they didn't specifically go to any lengths to make you think it was Sword, because Sword was supposed to be kind of like the Star Trek ships, like an Enterprise, where it's multicultural. I
always saw
race.
Sword as Shield of Space. Like it's the same.
They are, but they're also not just all Skrulls.
Yes.
And but I think Fury is. It's probably in the early makings of setting something. Like with him up there with the Skrulls, he can probably turn that station to something else.
They could, but I don't know. That Sword was something that was created for X-Men, like via the X-Men. It was from the Astonishing run that Joss Whedon did. So I don't know if they'll touch that yet. I could see them bring up the idea of having something like that, but I think right now they're going to be focusing on Captain Marvel being their like interstellar early warning system.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to keep my plug short and sweet because I'm fucking tired. And thankfully we burned through all the event-based stuff for Movie Dumpster so far. So season 2 is almost over. Because we only have a handful of episodes left the end of the year. And before we go into season 3, we're doing bi-weekly episodes because it allows us more time to record and edit. So we just recorded an episode for, well, I guess I spoiled in the beginning, but we didn't tell anybody else we're doing Terminator Salvation. But the people who listen to this don't listen to Movie Dumpster. Even though I plug this every time we do a recording. But we covered pretty much the entire franchise from start to finish. Joe actually marathoned all of them. Up until about 30 minutes of Dark Fate, and then he got a little distracted, and obviously he wasn't watching it in the movie theater. But who wants to fucking pay for something when you're not really sure if you're gonna love it? But we talked in depth about how Salvation's the only movie in the series that tries anything new, and kind of the similar conversation to what we had here about why this movie tanked. And then we have Blood Rage coming up. That's like the only other Thanksgiving themed slasher film in existence. You'd think there'd be more than 2. There really isn't. And
and then a couple holiday movies, and then we're done. And my holiday pick this year is Prancer from the 90s, about one of fucking Santa's reindeer that falls in some town, and Abe Vigoda is a veterinarian.
Oh my god.
Let me just pour scotch on
Yeah.
I feel like you then have to do Good Burger so you can connect Abe Vigoda and then the Keenan Kel movie.
Do you think we're not doing Good Burger at some point next year? We just did Keenan and Kel. Fucking that Halloween special was the series finale of that show. I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
And it doesn't feel like one either. It just feels like a Halloween special, and then the show just went away.
Just like Kel's career.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
He died shortly after.
No, he had one shot, and it was Mystery Men, and he was not great in it, even though it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. That's it. I don't have anything else to plug because I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
And I gotta take it.
God damn it. Yeah, Lost Horror podcast is also sort of wrapping up. We're doing a Mike Flanagan episode. So that will be interesting now with everything that's happened. But yeah, we're doing that. We're probably gonna do some Star Wars stuff because Erik Sayor cares about Star Wars. So we're gonna do some Star Wars stuff. And probably maybe a Christmas thing. But other than that, season 2 of Lost Horror Podcast will be ending as well. So listen to those and past episodes with, I believe, everybody that's on here except for Lou. I don't think we've had him on yet.
Nope.
So yeah, go do that. And I think that's all I got.
Just a quick side note too, mentioning that Erik wants to do Star Wars. It's now the perfect time to revisit them because they're all available in 4K on Disney Plus.
4K Ultra HD.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Erik Fedorchak. You can find me at Erik_Fedor. There are pictures of dogs and cats and comics, and most recently a lot of stuff. Trip to Florida, which was awesome, even though Universal Orlando should be burned to the ground. There's nothing good there except for Harry Potter stuff. That pales in comparison to the Pandora rides at Animal Kingdom. Also floating around the Phantom Zone. I do things there. I say things. Whatever. It is what it is. And another thing, because of Disney Plus, all of you should be choking their servers by watching every episode of Gargoyles on repeat because that show is amazing and deserves all the love it should get and didn't get at the time because the animation in that is actually close to Batman the Animated Series level.
I had all of the toys.
Yes, that show was so good, and it just kind of
I watched it religiously.
It went out on a dull fart.
Well,
so
people don't remember
watch
Fox Kids was like the highest level of cartoons at that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So,
but
yeah. So Smallville Chronicles, we're in season 5. We just recorded our episode where we covered the 100th episode of the show, not ours, but of Smallville. Check that out. That'll be coming out soon. And then the comic show, And Now Comics, this week will be our second part of Crisis on Infinite Earth, kind of read through and talking about, and a little bit of comic book theater, which we sort of fell into in the last one. And look forward to that. Hopefully some of you guys can be on and play some characters.
Yeah.
If I could somehow make more hours.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess that's it, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
The plus.
Buy my bathwater.
And go get the plus.